Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is Wrestle AMS half morning show, half wrestling show, pretty much all BS. I'm LK from Kocosports.net, and I'm joined by my partner of crime, what it seems like for pay-per-views anyway, Sammy Sinister. Sammy, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Fucking tired, man. Like, this whole day in this pay-per-view just drained me.
Now, the most important question, more than the win, loss, or tie, did you catch the pre-show?
I did not catch the pre-show.
Damn it, nor did I.
We're
in trouble.
The entire first half of the show.
Damn, well, I can mini recap you over because you didn't miss much. Okay. Now, when we do win, loss, or tie, I think this is going to be quite difficult. I think it's going to be a mixed bag from the internet inventory anyway. But it's difficult because I enjoyed 2 matches. Actually, I enjoyed 3, but the rest of the card was forgettable, worthless, and not really necessary. So I'm going to give it a tie.
Everything I saw is the same thing I said about Night of Champions. This entire pay-per-view outside of the main event is 100% forgettable.
It
100% forgettable.
Tie. Okay, because if I go tie, I'm rewarding the main event. Orton and Harper, I really thoroughly enjoyed.
Was great.
Really great. And the women's title match I thought was the best out of the women's match, but maybe that's because I was more emotionally attached and I actually cared about who won and who lost.
Yeah, because, we're terrible people for who we picked, right?
Oh my god, yeah. Jesus Christ. And that's a different story for a different time. So we'll get down with breaking down the actual show. So our opening match was Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. Quite a good trust in the women from WWE anyway to kick off the show because the opener is a very, very important match. And maybe this is where they went wrong. It did nothing for me. The match was nothing bad, but again, like Clash of Champions, like Armageddon or Roadblock, whatever it's called, very forgetful. Like, I've nearly forgotten about it. If I didn't read the notes, I couldn't have told you who won. And Becky Lynch won. It's a WWE match. It's a women's match. Combine them. Roll up. Lynch wins with a roll. And the funniest thing was there was a small little cut on Mickie James' arm and it started to bleed. The referee got his fucking gloves out.
They have to. And the reason that is that's actually, in a lot of states, it's a legal issue because of bloodborne pathogens and different blood-related diseases. They have to take precautions.
Now, I understand like hepatitis C and stuff like that. I just didn't realize that if it's like a cut that small and there's like not really enough blood, is there really necessary? But I didn't realize there was different laws and legislations on the different states depending that they're in.
Yeah,
I had no clue about
definitely. And I think WWE across the board, if they even see a speck of blood, are required to put on their gloves. I think a lot of the reason they do that is because different state laws.
Just covering their own ass. That's fair enough. I gave it 2 stars. Like, not bad. Wrestling match. Don't go out of your way to watch it. Speaking of not going out of your way to watch, Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler. So Ziggler attacked Kalisto during his entrance, which makes it 1-on-1 until Kalisto came back. He fucking hit a spin kick. Crews hit his pop-up spinning sit-down powerbomb gimmick to get the win. The crowd couldn't give a shit. Sadly, I felt the same way. Post-match, Dolph Ziggler beat on Crews and Kalisto with the chair, including basically putting the chair around Cruz' ankle and stomping on him. It could have came out and helped, yes. Does that make everyone else look like bad people? Yes. Should babyfaces help babyfaces more? Yes. Has that been WWE's problem for over a decade? Yes. Will that ever change? No. It was like the crowd were trying to 10. Okay, you could have had Ty Dillinger come out. You could, but then I understand they're keeping Ty in NXT for a while, so that was a bit optimistic, but it was a 1.5 stars. Like, if you told me 5 years ago you're going to get a, Yuha Nation versus Dolph Ziggler in a match on pay-per-view, I would have fucking come to my pants. I would have said, how much to fly to go see this event? It's happening, and I could give 0 shits. 0. And I give it a 1.5 stars because I'm feeling very generous. Did you even catch this one?
Nope, missed it too. I missed, the entire... I came in and got off work with the Nikki Bella Natalya match.
Okay, cool. So I'll quickly run down the rest then. Then there was a tag team turmoil for the SmackDown tag titles. Slater and this, Rhino's basically shaved off all his beard apart from his sideburns. So his new name...
He looks so weird.
His new name. Fat Elvis. Fat Elvis. That's his new name. So Slater and Fat Elvis versus Breezango. Rhino eliminated Breezango with the gore. Slater and Fat Elvis then, obviously, short work of vaudevillains because, they're still employed. The Usos then eliminated Slater and Fat Elvis. Usos and American Alpha, they brawl on the ramp. I like that, because there is history there. Gable rolls up Uso to eliminate him. Then post that, before the Ascension came out, which was the last team, Usos attacked Alpha big time for like 2 solid minutes, to the point where Jason Jordan is laying out like unconscious in the middle of the ring. So the Ascension music hits, and you're thinking, oh my God, they're going to fucking run down there and they're going to win the tag belts. They walk as slowly as possible. They then decide to pick up an unconscious Jason Jordan, hit him with their finisher, allowing Gable to break the pin. And you know what's better than that? Alpha hit the Grand Altitude to get the win on the Ascension. They looked like utter fucking jobbers and morons. I still enjoyed it, though. It was quite fun. It was quite fun. Considering you care about one of the 6 teams, I actually quite enjoyed it.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to go back and watch all this.
Yeah, just you realize and laugh how idiotic fucking not Fat Elvis the Ascension look. And then we go to Nikki Bella versus Natalya. Now, their pre-match video package was better than the actual match. I really dug it. I was like, you know what? I've forgotten it's been about a 4-month feud, and I'm digging this. Okay, this is good. And then they came out, and it's like, oh, I forgot it's Nikki Bella and Natalya. This is going to be dull and boring. Like, the fact that they had the mum sat on the front row and they did not use her, I think that was silly. They could have used her to get some heel heat on Natalya.
Yeah.
There was a superplex spot when Natalya landed hard, which was careless. To be fair, Nikki Bella's STF is more, snug than Cena's. But the match ended with a double countout as, they're brawling outside. And then post-match, Natalya beats on Nikki, then leaves. But then Nikki spears Natalya on the ramp and they brawl until Natalya runs away. This has to end soon. Maybe Nikki's career on the line at WrestleMania.
That'd be a good one to actually see somebody retire.
Yeah, but like a proper retirement match. Like, this has gone on for too long now. This must end. And Natalya, I want to get my hands on you so bad. I will even put on my career. And then Natalya's like, oh, would you now? Would you like to give this all up? And then Natalya's like, blah, 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 blah. If Nikki Bella wins, Natalya has to go to Monday Night Raw. And then if Natalya wins, Nikki Bella has to retire and do what she's better at, and that's suck cock for the rest of her life.
Yeah, I think that could be cool.
But you actually watch it, so what were your opinions on this? And I gave it a 1.5 because I'm a mighty generous Englishman.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a...
How many, sorry? I didn't quite hear that.
They tried really, really hard, and the crowd wasn't into it. And I feel like the crowd was a problem the entire night. And part of the problem with this pay-per-view for me was me, because I just got off work. I worked a 10-hour shift. I jumped in halfway through. I'm talking to a million different people, and I just could not get into it.
You see, I watched this pay-per-view with my... I don't watch pay-per-views very often with my younger brother because of school. Like, he has school. He's only about 11. I think he's 11. So he watched this pay-per-view with me. He stayed awake. He went to sleep at 8, and then I woke him up just before the pay-per-view started. I didn't show Mojo Rawley and Kurt Hawkins because I quite frankly didn't watch them myself, and I didn't want to embarrass, myself. And this is what I watched.
That'd be like one of the best matches of all time, and we both just completely skipped it.
I highly doubt that. They didn't even show a recap of it on the show. Normally they show a recap of the pre-show match. They didn't even show a recap. That's quite funny.
They really didn't, did they? Wow.
No, it's like this match did not happen. It did not happen. Please don't go back and watch it on the network archive. They probably won't even upload the kickoff show on the network archives. Anyway, what was I going to say about what match were we talking about? The my brother. Yeah, my brother. He was kind of like he livened up into the whole Orton Harper. He kind of cared about the women's title match, but before that, there was just this disconnect where he sat there. He's like, "That's okay," when someone's the kid likes pretending to be, he's pretending having fun just to please me. It was kind of like that, but then towards the end, he was getting like the Elimination Chamber. He loved, and like he loved all the lights and how it's all new. And we'll touch on that later on when we get to it. But because WWE considers, their target market is like 6 to 12, and I sat there watching him, and he could not give a fuck about the Natalya match. Because I was there like in the pre-match build-up, like this is actually could be good. It's like they're just girls, quote unquote. They're just girls. That's not me saying. That's what he said. It's difficult because you can't really judge the whole 11-year-old span on my brother. You can't really do that by any means. But considering this is a company that aims at children, I think that they really should do a better job at, marketing towards those children. Nothing on this show marketed towards young kids. They had the brutal Elimination Chamber, which they were promoting as brutal and beautiful. And then you had fucking a women's match based on how she got to the top by fucking. The women's title on the line, which, our build-up was a lot more better than the women's title build-up. I just don't really know, and it's just sad state of affairs. But what were your overall impressions of Nikki Bella and Natalya? Because I cut you off, I apologize.
Star and a half. I mean, they tried their best. The crowd wasn't into it. I wasn't into it, and that wasn't 100% their fault. But I just wasn't feeling it. It didn't catch me.
No, it didn't feel like a pay-per-view match
at all. And
then we move on to, this was like you were expecting this to be the finale, the grand finale of this feud that's been going on for 5 months, and you couldn't believe that, can you? And it's still going on. It's got to end soon. But I was thinking that, maybe the Nikki Bella and Natalya at Mania, but then you got to remember, you have to remember the fact that Nikki Bella and Maurice had that altercation backstage, so maybe they're going to go with Nikki Bella and John Cena versus Miz and Maurice.
Maybe. You never know.
Now I would prefer the Nikki Natalya match, but if you keep Big Match John out of the title picture at Mania, I'm more power to you. More power to you. Then we move on. Randy, my boy, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get my boy Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. This was a fucking really, really good match. I really, really enjoyed it. Harper, in defeat, he won. Because, and I think JBL gets a lot of bashing on social media, but I think he did an excellent job of putting over Harper. Same as Mauro Ranallo. David Otunga and Tom Phillips don't count.
But I don't like Tom Phillips. I wish they would just drop David Otunga and let Phillips take his spot.
No, you need to fucking drop Tom Phillips, keep him in NXT, put David Otunga in NXT, and put Nigel McGuinness on fucking SmackDown with JBL and Mauro Ranallo.
So I would rather have Nigel in NXT because I think he just fits better there.
I guess, that kind of indie style, not as big kind of gimmick. Yeah, I understand that. But this Orton-Harper match, Orton has the best superplex in the business. No one even comes close.
Really fucking good.
The way how Harper with those 2 super kicks was a great near fall. That sit-down powerbomb by Harper was a great near fall. I loved when they're on their knees, they exchanged strikes, and then Orton countered the discus lariat into the arcade and got the win. And again, we said this on our preview. Well, we didn't really say much because we're too busy fucking around. But when we actually got to the actual preview itself, we said that this could be the best match on the show. And apart from the main event, I think this was the best one-on-one match of the whole entire evening.
Yeah, easily. It was great. It was a fantastic match by anyone's accounts.
Go back. If you haven't watched this pay-per-view and you just come here to listen, okay, is there anything worth watching? Watch the main event. Watch Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. Watch the tag team turmoil finish just to see how dumb the Ascension looked, because it's quite amusing. And don't bother watching the rest. You can if you want to, but I wouldn't waste your time. But I gave it 3.5. The Orton and Harper.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 3 3/4 just because I only give 4 stars to some of the best matches I've seen this year, and it wasn't up there, but it was right underneath it. It was damned good.
Here's a question for you. Where do you think Harper will go from here?
That's a good fucking question. I genuinely don't know.
But if you had the book, you could do anything with Harper, what would you do?
You can't have him go for the IC title with it on Ambrose because he made a face turn. Maybe you have... no, because there isn't another pay-per-view between now and Mania. Maybe you put him in a triple threat match for the IC belt between him, Dean Ambrose, and Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I mean, he could do that. It's just, will he still carry on with the gimmick? That's what I'm more interested in as well. Will he still portray this gimmick of, because I thought he did a really solid job of, all the eyes and all these motions and this, yeah. I think he did a really great job. And I think this match will help him in the long run. You could say that maybe Harper could have gone over, but it's WWE, and, you need to build Randy Orton as this megastar. And, if he loses to Harper, the casual audience may think, okay, Orton loses to Harper, that may not take Harper up to Orton's level, but in the casual viewer's eyes, put Orton down to Harper's level, which I think is why they didn't put Harper over. But I think we always talk about this on the channel a lot, how you don't have to win a wrestling match to win. And I think the performance Harper gave tonight and the match that they produced and had gave Harper a win in the long run.
Oh, definitely.
Because now, like, Vinnie Mac, the fucking human toilet machine backstage, can go, okay, Harper, great reaction. The crowd loved it, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we could have a program review with Dangerous Dean Ambrose after Corbin's finished. Or maybe you could do Baron Corbin beat Dangerous Dean Ambrose at Mania and then do a nice long Corbin and Harper feud for the IC title. That's what the IC title... Cool. IC title was invented for matches like that, getting, the mid-card over.
Yeah, and like he's held the IC title before, so I don't know. I think I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, me too. And then we have the SmackDown Women's title on the line, Alexa Bliss champion defending against Naomi. Now, here's a little backstory. When we did our Elimination Chamber preview, which, by the way, was on the last 45 minutes of Wrestle AM from Thursday, so go back and listen. Not because, I don't want to listen to an Elimination Chamber preview. It could be, quite frankly, the most funniest 45 minutes of podcasting I've had the privilege and pleasure to be a part of.
Something was in the air with me that night. We were on fire.
That was special. Like, everyone was clicking the jokes. Like, we're having Bray Wyatt on the podcast. Boom's meeting Bray Wyatt, and then Boom's being in prison, and Rey Mysterio, and the fucking an action figure and looking it in the eye. Like,
by the way, he's not just saying those words. Those are things that were said during that podcast.
You finish listening to this before you go to bed tonight. Go to bed with a smile on your face. Listen to Thursday's Wrestle AM, the last 45 minutes. Don't listen to the preview because we barely previewed the damn show. But what we did do was entertain you. And speaking of kind of entertaining, the women's title match, Naomi with the blockbuster off the top was nice. The rear view for 2 was a good near fall. And then
I hate the rear view so goddamn much.
Yeah, it's not the best of moves, is it? But back to actually, before I get to that, we have the backstory of this match, don't we?
Yes.
Well, the Kocosports version, anyway. So during the fucking preview I was actually talking about, before I segued on away, we all wanted Alexa Bliss to win because we have been put because we've been putting her over for the past five months, saying she's one of the most improved. I think Sam even picked her on our year-end awards as most improved worker of 2016. And apparently, according to that, I don't remember the guy's comment name because he's irrelevant, but apparently we are very racist on this channel. Apparently. That's what the rumor is going around, according to this guy. What was his exact quote?
Something along the lines of I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, well, why wouldn't you pick Naomi? I mean, Alexa Bliss is okay, but just because she's improved doesn't mean she's a title. Naomi's way more athletic. That's really suspicious. And then he talked about my comment I made about the Usos. Like, this motherfucker doesn't get why the Usos are super popular in Alabama. That's suspect. Like, dude, Boom's called him out. Because Boom's full on went do me a favor, if you're going to make some bullshit implications, at least have the balls to fucking say it. Which is unlike Booms to get like that. So we really don't take kindly to getting called things that we clearly are not. Go ahead and ask Wrestling and Rantin if we have racial tendencies, aka suck my dick.
Literally, we have SOS Wrestle Talk who come on to cover Japanese pro wrestling. He's come on for mixed martial arts shows. Like, he's been on 3 this past week. We have Raston Ranton as a regular co-host once he's fit because he's doing his book at the minute. And go to Raston Ranton's Twitter and check out his book if you can. And why would we be? And if we for instance, I'm not saying we are, but even if we were, do you really think we'd go on air and say it? You wouldn't, would you?
Yeah, fucking retards. And that shit is doubly, and this is gonna sound super fucking lame, but just bear with me. That shit bothers me more than it bothers a lot of people because y'all know I was on here with my niece at one point in time, Snickerdoodle, who I took to her first WWE show. She's mixed. Do you really think you're really gonna make that fucking implication and then not go look at that? Suck the dankest, most hairy, vinegary, nasty part of my scrotum. Suckle upon it. And when you have been nourished by the man meat that falls off of me, you can come and try and tell me that bullshit again, and I will just simply tell you that you are incorrect, good sir.
Yeah, I think that we've got to the point now where we've had enough. Like the guy who doesn't whatever his job his name is. Like me and Boom just said, we've had enough now. Like it's enough now. We're like, the thing is though, what makes it even worse is like we open our chat and like there is lots of other guys that they open the chat, but we go to the chat, we read them out, and to like abuse that right, and like every comment left, I always answer every one of them. Show me one where I didn't answer it. That's time. And it's just like, bush. It's like, fuck you. I will answer back and I will be a prick. And I don't give a fuck what you do about it.
We're tired of being nice in the comments. If you're nice, we will be the nicest, most pleasant. We will put you over and we will be happy. If you're a dick just to be a dick, we will let you know. You're not saying you can't have a different opinion from us, by all means, but just don't be a dick. And on the Naomi subject, and then we're going to move off of this, a lot of people are like, oh, she finally deserved it. She really won it. Really unpopular opinion, she absolutely didn't deserve it. Like, she has a terrible character. She's changed her gimmick a million times. She's got a bad move set. I mean, she can work her ass off, and she's just not entertaining. She's not, and I'm sorry. I don't like her. She just, the belt would have, and hopefully Alexa Bliss will win it back because she just was the better champion. In my mind, I can't really say that because Naomi's never been champion before. But she's just so flip-floppy and forgettable. She's such a forgettable wrestler. I know a lot of people are finally happy to say she got it because, like, oh, she finally got it, and that's cool. Like, no cries about that. But I just don't think she deserved it.
I think she deserved it. I think that having her go into Mania is a bit unfair considering, Bliss's title reign. But with that in mind, fact or fiction? Oh, dude, I forgot what I was going to say then. No, don't worry about it. I was about to say a really good fact or fiction, but I forgot to write it down. But the actual match itself, going back, I'll hopefully remember the fact or fiction when we get comment time. Naomi hit the slingshot moonsault to get the win, and she landed hard on Bliss. She landed very hard. Post-match interview. Oh, that was it. Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? I've never had a professional wrestling match in my life. If I went to the WWE and had one match and won, say, for example, the IC title, my very first wrestling match ever, and on there in my post-match interview, fact or fiction, the crowd will chant, "You deserve it."
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter. Like, anybody wins a belt, they'll chant, "You deserve it." Which is if you actually get somebody that they win the belt and they get upset about it, then that person's doing their job right. Like, when Alexa Bliss won the belt, people were not happy that she won. And that's good. Like, my boy Kevin Owens, my favorite wrestler in the entire world, when he won the belt, they chanted, "You deserve it." Mind you, I can talk out both sides of my mouth because he totally did deserve it in my mind. But, he's a bad guy. Come on, guys. Like, if he's a good guy and the story is, like, if Sami Zayn went through this whole thing and this whole underdog story and he scratched and crawled and finally found his way to the top, and at the biggest grand stage of the Immortals, he won the belt and people went, "You deserve it." You know what? It's because he did fucking deserve it. And the story was him proving that he deserved it. Not just, she's never won the belt, so she deserves it. That's fucking bullshit.
And the thing is, though, like, I harp on, they're so awesome and holy shit. Like, if they were saved for moments, imagine how special that moment would become. Imagine you haven't heard of This Is Awesome chant in WWE for like 2 months, and then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have a 5-star match or a 4-star match. They then start chanting, "This is awesome." And the crowd are electric. They're chanting, "This is awesome." And you haven't heard it for a while. And you're like, "Yeah, this is awesome." You get more into the match. When you like for instance, they were chanting, "This is awesome" during, like, I thought I had one fan chanting, "This is awesome" with Nikki and Natalia. I'm like, it's the state.
You are incorrect, good sir.
No, I think that if they saved it, oh no, I thought you were talking about my comments, not the Nikki Bella Natalia, but yeah, it would be so special if like back in the day, you would never hear "This is awesome" chant, and when you heard it, you know that this is awesome. You could, like a casual fan, like, "Yeah, this is awesome." Like, they chanted "This is awesome" to Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn on Raw a couple weeks back. Now, that was a good match. It was like a 3.5 star match. It wasn't awesome. It was good. It was very good. It was not awesome. I think that when it's becoming a custom at a WWE event now to chant it, like, it's a gift. Like, it's like they want to chant it. And it's just
when they get the most entertained by a match, that's who you give the "This is awesome" chant to, and it's an infectious chant. If you've ever been in the crowd when it started chanting, it's fucking infectious because you're just all pumped up there. It's easy for us on the outside looking in saying it because it's a different fucking feel and a completely different ball game when you're in the fucking seat at the arena.
I remember, at the Rev Pro Uprising event in October I went to, there was only one "This is awesome" chant, and that was during the 5-star match of Chris Hero, Mighty Skull, in my opinion, and the best match I've ever seen live. I got up and chanted "This is all." I got out of my seat and chanted "This is awesome" at the end, and there was a standing ovation between both. It was incredible. Like, the match ended with a pile driver off the top. I don't need to say no more. Like, that was awesome. Randy Orton, Luke Harper was very good. Does it deserve this? This is awesome? Maybe not. You know, during the Elimination Chamber, that got "This is awesome." It was very good. Was it awesome? Maybe. That's your opinion. But when you're at the event, I understand. I completely understand. Like, you're at the event, you're looking at it a bit more excitedly than us at home fucking masturbating. It's different. But there still comes a time where you need to, like, we always say, like, protect the wrestlers. As fans, we should protect these chants that when they're used, it means something. And it's special.
I agree. It's just hard to do. Like, it's you know what I mean? It's hard to get that point across when you're there because you just get caught up in it.
Yeah, one person chants, and then the next, and then it gets to the arena. But what can you do about it? But what we can do is cover the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Big match: John versus AJ versus Baron Corbin versus Bray Wyatt versus Miz versus Ambrose. New chamber, looks nicer, softer for sure on the outside.
Looks a lot safer. And I know people are going to be really pissed, like, oh, the chamber's bullshit now because it's not as like. I fear for wrestlers, and like, yeah, in a Hell in a Cell, there maybe should be blood. In a Elimination Chamber, maybe there should be blood. But I don't like. I want these guys to be safe, and like, yeah, there's still some spots that are nasty in this match, but that I don't look at that structure and go, "Fuck that thing." I look at that structure and go, like, this is gonna be crazy scary.
Which is good. It looks, that's going to be a spectacle. That's what I look at it as. I really like it. I like the new LED lights. I like the new camera angles that they've got. I like the fact that there was enough dives to keep entertained, and the floor had good padding on, which made me very happy because they have fucking 6 of the biggest stars on SmackDown, and you can't afford any of them to be injured heading into Mania. You can't take no risks. And Booms made a great point a few weeks back. Win this match, I wasn't worried about wrestlers' safety. I was worried about the characters' safety in the match regarding pinfalls and submissions and losses. And this was perfect. This is a perfect prime example of I'm not having to worry about the wrestlers because WWE did a good job at protecting them. And now I can just sit back, relax, and engross myself in the story that they are telling and get an emotional attached to the characters or wrestlers that I want to win. So good job, WWE. If you're angry, it's not safe, and you like your deathmatch wrestling, I'm not telling you you're wrong. You're entitled to it, and that's fair enough. But from me looking at it as you need to protect these guys, I'm all to it. And it looks more, when you're there live and you see all the flashing lights, that's cool. It's more spectacle, which is what WWE is. They're a moment company, not a fucking pro wrestling company for sure.
Yeah.
But let's quickly break this one down. Miz, when he came out with no release, he came out serious, and I really like that, putting over how dangerous this is. And then AJ and Cena started a really good opening 5 minutes as expected with those two. Dummy Dean Ambrose comes out, he hit an elbow off the top of the pod. Wyatt comes in. AJ and Ambrose had this really cool spot where they fought on top of the pod, but there was a really unique camera angle which made you think, oh my god, they're so fucking high. Corbin came out. It was really cool. Corbin came out. Corbin hit the end of days on both Cena and AJ. Miz came out petrified. Ambrose rolls up Corbin, eliminating Corbin, protecting him as he didn't get knocked out. And then Corbin beats up Ambrose, launches him through the pod, setting up Corbin versus Ambrose at Mania. Miz covers Ambrose and Ambrose.
Maybe about 30 seconds before the match actually started. I was watching it with my roommate. It's like, there's your WrestleMania match. He went, one. I went, it's going to be Baron and Ambrose. He went, really? I'm like, yeah, totally. Well, just watch the match. I guarantee you they tell that story here.
They should. They definitely should. I'm kind of excited for that. So Miz eliminates Ambrose. Miz hits the skull crush from on the outside. Cena AA's Miz. Poor boy. Final 3, AJ, Cena, and Bray. AJ starts class Cena on 4-2. Cena AA2. Cena dives off the pod in a really pathetic dive. No offense to the boy. Bray then hits Sister Abigail, eliminating Cena. I stood up and fucking fist pumped like fucking crazy. And you know what my brother's reaction was? He goes, this is quite funny. He goes, there's a reason. He goes, that's the reason why your girlfriend refuses to watch pay-per-views. Priceless. AJ and Bray is your final two. AJ springboard 450. And remember this, guys. Remember, I've been piping on and harping on about AJ versus Orton at WrestleMania. So I'm there with my dream nearly accomplished. It's like your Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe.
So if you haven't heard my Brock Lesnar Samoa Joe theory.
And then Bray hits a Sister Abigail, crushing my dreams. But at the same time, I remember my boy, and he comes out. If you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. He comes out. So at WrestleMania, it's my boy. If you build a sports entertainer from the ground and get Randy Orton versus Wrestling Ranting's boy, Bray Wyatt. So that's going to be an interesting one. We're going to have war of words when we come on. Whoever wins, the other man, unfortunately, will be blocked. So I really enjoyed the chamber. One of the better chambers in recent memory. I think the last one was 2015. But anyway, 4 stars. 4.25. Really, really good. I was emotionally on my feet going, yes. When you're on your feet going, yes, yes, they've done their job. They've done their job. You know, if Cena got out early, you'd have gone, yes. But you wouldn't have got up, gone, yes, yes. But because you got to the final 3, you had that in your mind. Cena's won. We're going to get Cena versus build a sports entertainer from the ground and get Randy Orton again. So I really enjoyed it. AJ looked protected. He was, he lasted from the beginning. He lasted longer than Big Match John, for crying out loud.
Exactly. He looked protected.
So,
and when he got down to the bottom 2 of them, I'm like, either one of them can win, and I will be happy. And God, y'all don't understand how fucking thrilled I am that Bray Wyatt finally won something. I wanted to be a Bray Wyatt fan so long ago, but he just kept... People are like, wins and losses don't matter in wrestling. That is true, and it isn't true. It isn't true with Bray Wyatt because he just kept losing, and he kept losing, and he kept losing, and he kept losing. And people lost interest. People were interested in his matches because he could build them up, and he made them exciting. But when they just knew, like, okay, yeah, he'll give a great promo, but he's going to lose. So for him to finally get validated and win this, I'm fucking stoked. I'm so happy. Like, I am a Bray Wyatt fan again.
Yeah, I'm not Wyatt fan hater. It's just he's going against my boy, so I'm biased. I'll be a biased boy. But no, it was a great moment. It was a great moment. It was a really great moment. Same as Naomi winning the belt. Naomi fan, I think she's entertaining. Like, I'm the opposite to you. You said she's not very entertaining. I think she's entertaining. It was just cool, like, because she has worked hard, but from...
I'm not saying she hasn't worked hard. She's busted her ass off. Everyone has. Everyone in the WWE has worked their ass off. Let's be honest here.
Apart from Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, fuck Mojo Rawley. He is testicular cancer. That is what he is. He is manifested testicular cancer.
He's a piece of shit. We'll get to some live comments. What we got here? Again, apologies. I'm on... Yeah, no problem. We'll just do a few. I'm on mobile, and mine start at Tyler Dinnan saying at Mania, so I apologize. I can't see what you got. I'll go through these quickly because I know Sammy's got to shoot off for an early night of work. Will you be available for Raw tomorrow?
Unknown.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you off the air, but unknown currently.
Yeah, cool. No problem. Andy Pap's baby says Ty and Brave fucking Wyatt. Tyler Dillon gave Harper and Orton 3.75. That's fair.
Yeah.
Andy Pap says, really want to see Harper and Rowan win the tag belts. That's a great show. I haven't seen Eric Rowan in a while.
Who with the tag belts?
Harper and Rowan. Eric Rowan.
That would be cool. They should have won it off the Usos like 2 years ago.
Yeah, they should have. Oh, this is a great comment. This will make you pop. Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere.
I have been feeling Bliss wins back the belt on SmackDown Live. That's from Tyler Dillon. That's possible. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Maybe put the IC title on Dolph and have him defending a 4-way against Corbin, Cruz, and Kalisto. Maybe, but I think they're going to go down on the old Corbin and Ambrose. Tyler Dillon says he would like to be the receiver of the rear view. Andy Pap says, Mike.
That is all you, brother. I ain't got shit to do with that. To quote, never mind. You know what? I'm not going to make that quote because I'm going to get us in way too much trouble if I say that quote. We will just leave that statement where it was.
We will. Andy Pap says, my girlfriend watched it with me, shocked me, and she liked it. That's fair enough. If it wasn't at the city time of 1 to 4 a.m. in the morning, my girlfriend will watch. But the only thing she really watches and enjoys is Lucha Underground, believe it or not. Mr. Boyko, because and I watch it because obviously I don't watch it live. Or when I used to not watch it live, she used to watch it and enjoy it because I'd wait and watch it when it's uploaded the next day. Mr. Boyko says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Mr. Boyko?" Tyler Dillon says maybe she can give you the review. Naomi's been a bridesmaid, not a bride with two titles for too long. Lich Richard says Naomi is back for fucking 3 weeks and she wins a title. What a joke. At least let Bliss keep it till Mania.
Yeah, that's true. She was gone for a really long time. And maybe that was part of my problem with this, is that there was absolute zero build to this feud and her winning this match. And maybe that's more my problem with this than anything, is just like, I don't feel like she earned the title shot. Becky Lynch had to go through hell to get her title shot. She just gets back and just gets it and then gets to win it, which I think also makes Becky Lynch look weaker. So I don't know. I was pretty peeved about it.
And then Edward says, "Hey Sammy, what was the point of Mojo Rawley versus Court Hawkins?"
That is the greatest mystery of our time, good sir.
And then Edward Mahan says LK is the top heel of live stream. No, not a top heel. I'm like, I'll be the biggest babyface, but if you like, I go to make the hot tag and you swipe my legs from underneath me, I will run around that ring, pin you down, and beat the shit out of you. Tyler Dillon says, I want to hear you guys be dicks. Oh, if one comes up, believe me, we will. It's more.
If you're ever watching, God help me if we're doing a show and fucking that prick that doesn't make up shit on the internet to get eyes on his product ever live comments on our shit. You get to see me go full-blown Sammy dick mode, which is rare. I don't really do that. I'm an incredibly nice guy and super patient. I will let that tarantula head looking motherfucker have it.
Tyler,
shots fucking
he got his
fired.
Answer. Lich Richard says hopefully it's Bray Wyatt versus AJ versus Randy Orton. You know what? They could do that. Yeah, they could, and I would not have complaints. Andy Paps, booms or bust, Fastlane will suck.
Probably, because Kevin Owens is probably going to lose the belt, and it will be Roman Reigns versus Goldberg for the title at Mania, and Roman Reigns will win. That's the absolute worst decision they can make unless fucking Reigns turns heel, which I don't see them doing. I doubt it. But again, the heel heat of beating Taker at Mania, he could get off that. I think that would be a great business opportunity. Yeah. But there's no... I kind of given up the point of, going, but what if Reigns turns heel? It's like saying, what if pay-per-views are good? It's like, what if pay-per-views are going to be good? I've given up with that. Steve Cecile says, I agree, Fastlane will suck. Kevin X. Snell says, but Rumble killed most of my interest in Mania. Andy Paps, Kevin Owens versus Goldberg, I'm scared. Mr. Boyko, hope Apollo Crews comes back angry. I'm tired of the guy smiling. Yeah, me and you both, man. Like, he's just got to change something with his gimmick. It's not fucking working. Anti and Bishop 07 says a strong tie to, kind of a win. The Chamber is bullshit now. It's one of the play sets come to life. Did not like it. MVP of the Chamber, Baron Corbin, even though Bray won. Baron Corbin did look super strong, which I made that observation on our preview that he needs to come out of here looking really strong. Agreed. Mr. Spoke says Kalisto needs to be on 205 Live. He's boring as fuck. Agreed. They will agree about that. Crowds really are getting annoying, but what do you expect when Cena's been chasing off the better class of fans for 10 years? That's a great point. Sammy, Wrestle Pro was great. That's from Andy Paps. Oh, dude, yeah, I'm still... Andy Paps, I've been meaning to tell you this, and I'll tell you on air, because why the fuck not? I'm thinking I'm going to plan a trip to New York sometime in the next 6 months. I think I'm going to come visit New York. I want to get away. I want to travel. I've got the money to travel. And I really want to go up there and cast like a Wrestle Pro show, maybe 1 or 2 other shows, get some fucking pizza. I've been meaning to let you know that, but I keep forgetting to do so. Or what you could do is you could fly over to the UK and we can have some fish and chips and play some bowls. Well, I'm not convinced that wasn't a sexual advance. Bowls? I think you just offered me some weird, like, English handy.
Bowls is an outside, or it can be an indoor game involving bowling balls that you have to get in it. Basically, there's a yellow ball in the middle, and you have to get as close to that, and you get points. It's what old
I'm
men
still
do.
not convinced this wasn't some gay advance. You're not helping your cause. I would love to go to England. That one's just a little outside of my price range.
Yeah, but it is quite expensive to come over here.
I saw. Hold on, I'm going to cut you off real quick just because I saw I saw this comment and I have to say it. Edward Mahan said, "Sammy, here's our worst nightmares. They have a ladder match for the IC title. Mojo wins the IC title at Mania. I will genuinely stop watching WWE if they do that. I will cancel my fucking subscription. I don't care if I'm having a party over for WrestleMania and there's fucking 16 people in my house like there was last year. I will calmly get up. I will calmly turn off the television. I will tell everyone to leave, and I will not talk about wrestling for the rest of the fucking week."
Can you imagine that? Just stunned. Everyone just looks. They just look at each other like, "I'm gonna get my bag." Everyone just slowly but surely you turn around and everyone's fucking gone. Kevin Eric Snell said Cena would never tag with Nikki. His TV character doesn't even acknowledge she exists. That's true. Cena and Miz deserve better. That's from Litch Richard. Should be Cena versus Taker, really. That's true. Poor Ambrose start is falling hard. But Ted Turner called. He wants his Thunderdome cage back. Current card for Mania for SmackDown: Wyatt versus, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, get Randy Orton. Cena and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice. Ambrose Corbin. Alpha versus either Revival or Usos. And Bliss versus Lynch versus James versus Naomi for the one star. That's fair. That's fair. Andy Paps gave the pay-per-view as a whole 5 out of 10. Anyone in New York area is talking about New York. Breaking news mode. Oh, dude, that's bad. D-Rocks. Hey, okay. Have you hate about Lucha Forever?
What?
Oh, it heard. Oh, no. It says, have you heard about Lucha Forever? Yes, it's a UK promotion. It's a UK promotion. It's on Flow. It'll be on Flow Slam. I think it's in March. If they do a show in the South, I'll go because their talent. Will Ospreay, Ricochet, got some great talent on there. Bray Wyatt's record versus John Cena: 68 losses, 5 wins. Edward Mahan. They gave her the title because the Usos and Reigns have no title. Wow.
Yeah, I guess they got to keep it on somebody in the family.
Paps Blue Ribbon. I don't know, wearing caps. Edward, don't make me cry. Hey, Sammy, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I can show you great eats. That's you and Edward Mahan live from WrestlePro.
Dude, fucking, if I make it to New York and I go to a WrestlePro show, I'm meeting up with the Pap, and we're going to drink fucking PBRs, and we're going to get ripped and do a Wrestle live.
And Edward Mahan, he said
we all three get together, just get blitzed on PBR, and just go full talking shop on Kocosports and just talk about how awesome wrestling it is, and then never actually talk about wrestling.
And then at Punky the Rex on Twitter sent me a Twitter message saying Bray Wyatt finally gets his due. I'm telling you, WrestleMania will be Owens versus Baylor. Following night's Raw, KO and Jericho will split. That's his opinion. I'll give that a like and I'll give that a retweet because I'm a nice fucking human being. Appreciate everyone for the live comments. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you were entertained. You may have learned something. You may not have. Probably not. Either way, you had a great time. Thank you for choosing us. And now there's 35 live viewers right now. And considering, there is so many options of post pay-per-view shows, 35 of you live after the pay-per-view ads choosing us, Koco Sports, that makes us happy. We appreciate it. And if you're watching post-live, we appreciate you too. But what post-live? Do us a favor. Drop a comment and drop a like. I want to appreciate Sammy for coming on. I appreciate you coming on, Sammy. Maybe we'll see you for tomorrow. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow in WrestleMania as well. The Chamber pay-per-view, it was a tie. We both gave it a tie. Most into the Infantry gave it a tie. Expect You gave it a tie. It's in the bag. Next pay-per-view is probably in next weekend, I expect.
Yeah, this fucking right.
Yeah, there's 3 weeks till Fastlane. Lots of time to build for Mania for SmackDown Live now. I hope the build's good. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Stay safe. Stay well. Kocosports.net. Like, comment, subscribe. Buy Dave Koco's book. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Catch your asses down the line.